Hello everyone, greetings of the day. Welcome you all for the fourth video of learning Swift programming language. So these are the topics that we have covered in the last three videos. This is just for your reference. Let's start with the new topics today. Loops. It's the ability to repeat some simple task billions of times every second. Swift has a few ways of writing loops, but their underlying mechanism is the same. The most common loop in Swift is for loop. It will loop over arrays and ranges, and each time the loop goes around it will pull out one item and assign to a constant. This is the for loop. This is the range of numbers. We have provided a closed range from 1 to 10. Every time when this loop, it will take one item from this number and print it. So let's print and check the answer. See, it has printed 10 times. So this is the result of for loop. Let's see another example of for loop. Here we have provided an array of flowers. So in every loop, each individual item in the array will be taken and print here. So this is the array. In every loop, rows will be assigned on the first and then the jasmine, lily and lotus. So let's print this and see. This is the result of for loop. This is the third example of for loop. If we don't want these numbers to be used inside the for loop, we can use an underscore instead of providing a variable name, so that the hello everyone will be printed 5 times, but we don't want to use these numbers or arrays inside the for loop, means we can provide underscore here. If we print this, we'll get the result as hello everyone, that is printed 5 times. Another way of writing loops is while loop. Here we will be providing a condition and the loop will go around until this condition fails. Here is the example provided. We have provided the number equal to 1 and we have mentioned the condition that number less than or equal to 10. Until this condition fails, the while loop will go around again and again. So let's print this and see. We'll get the result as from 1 to 10 it is printed, and again in the 10 if he enters, again the number will become 11. At that time the condition fails and the loop will get exit. This is the while loop. This is the third way of writing loop, that is repeat loop. This is similar to the while loop that we have seen before. When we print this, we will get the same result as we received in while loop. The main difference is, even if this condition fails, it will enter the loop at least once. That is, in the while loop, we are checking the condition at first, but in the repeat while, we are checking the condition in the last. So here the condition provided is number less than or equal to 10. If we provide the value for number as 100, then we will get the result as 100. That means it will enter the loop at least once. Then it is checking the condition. Then the condition fails and exiting the loop. So this is the repeat while loop. Another feature in the loop is break. So if we are in a loop, if any condition meets in between, if we want to exit, means we can provide the break keyword. See, in this while loop, we have provided that if the number is greater than or equal to 0, we need to print it. And inside the while loop, we have provided a condition that if the number is equal to 4, we need to print this and break the loop. So let's print out and see the result. So we have got that 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and after that we have received this print statement and the loop get exit. This is because this condition meets number equal to 4. So it will enter this if loop, and because of this break, it will exit the loop. Before this, we have seen the single loop conditions. Now we have multiple loops, that is loop inside a loop. This is called nested loops. This is the outer loop and this one is the inner loop. So let's print out and see the result. We have got the multiplication table of 1 and 2. Once it enters the outer loop, the execution of the inner loop continues, and after exiting this, it will again goes to the outer loop. If we want to break both the loops, we need to provide a label for the outer loop. For example, like this, we need to provide a label and we need to, in what condition basis that need to be exited, need to be provided in the inside loop. If we print the statement, we'll get the result as after the product reaches the 10, the outer loop, the both loop gets exit. The next we are going to see the continue keyword. As we have seen the break keyword before, the continue keyword is doing the skipping of the statements. For example, we have provided the for loop with the range of 1 to 10. So here what it will do means for every value of I, it will check whether it is divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, then we will get the remainder as 0 and it will not enter here and it will print the result. If the remainder value we got as 1, it will enter into this if statement and execute the continue. Continue means will skip the rest of statement and enters into the next loop. Let's print and see this. Here we got the result as 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So when the value of 1 it enters, we'll get the remainder as 1 and it will enter this if loop and we have the keyword continue here. So that it will go to the next loop, that means it doesn't print here. When it comes to the next loop, it doesn't enter here because the remainder is 0, so that we are getting the value of 2 here. The last topic to see in loop is infinite loops. Here, without providing any conditions, we directly providing the while loop and the condition as true, so that this block will run continuously, that is infinitely. Here, in order to exit, we have provided that if the counter is equal to 273, we have provided the break statement to exit the loop condition. Otherwise, this is an infinite loop, it will run continuously. The next important topic is functions. Functions means a set of code wrapping under a common name so that we can reuse it anywhere we have required. See, I have splitted this section into two. That is, here is the place where we are writing the function and here is the place we are calling the function. That is, this is the code that we can reuse anywhere we have been required. To call the function, we are using this. The syntax of the function is we need to write func and then the function name along with the open and closed parenthesis. This is the function body. So whenever we call this function, whatever we have entered inside this body will get executed. So let's print this and see. So when we call this welcome function, it executes this body and we are printing this hello everyone text. Even this print statement is a function. If we want to see anything, just we click the option and click above this print. We can see that even this print is a function. We are just providing data inside what to print. That is, we can send data into the function and we can get results from the functions as well. So in the coming topics, we will be seeing into that. See, The next topic is functions that accepting parameters. As I said, we can send data into the function. So this is the data we are going to send. This we call as parameters. See, if we want to greet somebody every time, the context is same, but only his name changes. We just provide the name inside the function. So we have defined this function as accepting one name. While calling, we need to provide that name here. It's a string value. So whenever we print, this name will reflect here. See, if I print this, we'll get the result as hello John. So let's print for another person. We get the result as hello John and hello unknown. So this is the function that accepting parameters. We have provided name as accepting parameter, the same name we have used here, and while calling also we have used the same name. If this is confusing, we can provide a label, that is the parameter label. For example, here we can split like this, that is this person is for external, that is the function where we are calling, and this name is for the internal use. So while we call the function, we'll be providing this label. This is the parameter label. This is the parameter name. This parameter name that we are using inside. Here in Swift, we just want to understand some terms that we are using that I have explained here. Let's see the same example as we have a function and we call the function here. So the terms we used are this person. I have entered here. This person we will be calling as parameter label or argument name. This person. And the name here I have written as this is the parameter name. And the string here, this is the parameter type. So these are the three things you need to know in the function declaration. After that, when you come for the function calling, this person I have written here is called as argument label, and the value I have provided, this John, is the argument. So in the function calling, we will use the name as argument label and argument, but in the function declaring time, we will be using the name as parameter label, parameter name. This the parameter label is same the argument name. So it may be confusing. This is for your understanding. In the previous example, I didn't provide this parameter label, that is this person. It is like this previously. So if I didn't provide this parameter label, this parameter name is there, right? This parameter name will be taken as argument label as default. If I didn't provide any parameter label here, this parameter name will be taken as argument label. As I informed, even this print is a function, but here we didn't provide any argument label. So let's see how they have used. So in order to do that, we can provide an underscore in the place of parameter label. So in that case, while calling the function, we don't want to provide any argument label. We can directly provide just the argument. See here, I just provided the argument here. And while we print this, we are getting the same result. See the another example of function. Here I have used two parameters, that is the name and then the start set. Whenever we call the function, we need to provide the values for all the parameters we have used. But here I didn't provide the value for start set because this is the parameter name, this is the parameter type, but here I have provided a default value for this parameter so that even if I didn't provide any values at the time of calling, this default value will get used. Let's check another calling function. Here you see we can call the welcome of name or welcome name and start set. If we print this, we'll get the result as for John we didn't provide any time, so it's getting the default time, but for unknown we have provided the time at 12, so it is taken from the value we have given. This is the parameters that accept default value. Previously we have seen that functions that takes data. Now we are going to see that functions send back the data, that is the result the function is sending back. This is called functions with return type. The syntax is similar, like we have the func keyword, function name, parameter type, and then this is the return type. We need to provide like this. After this arrow mark, we need to provide the return type. And in the function body, we need to mention this return keyword. When we assign this function to a constant and print this, we'll get the result as 49. That is the square of 7. This function will return the square, and we are assigning this to a constant and printing it. This is the function with return type. The next topic is writing a function that throws error. Functions can fail because of various things, like we have bad input or something went wrong internally. Swift allows us to throw errors from functions by making them as throws before their return type. Then using the throw keyword, when something goes wrong, we can throw the error. Here we have three parts. The first one is defining an error, and the second one is writing the throwing function, and the third one is the calling that function. So when we define the error, we need to provide the error type here. This is the error type. What are the names required for the error we can give here? I have mentioned as error 1, 2 and 3. And after that, while writing the function, the same like func keyword, function name, and we have provided the parameter name and the parameter type, and before this return type we will be providing the throws keyword. And in the function body we are checking a condition. If the provided word is appel, then it will enter this if block and it will throw this error. If this if condition fails, it comes here and returns the true. Otherwise it will exit with this throw condition itself. While calling the function, if we know that this function may cause error, then we can use the do catch block. The syntax is first we need to do and enter the function calling here. Before the function call, we need to mention this try, then this function call. If this throws an error, the immediately the error will catch within this catch block. If it doesn't throw any error, we'll get the result as bird is apple. Otherwise it will goes here, and if any throw is detected, we are checking that whether this error is error 1, error 2 or error 3, and based on that it will get printed. If none of these error matches, as a default clause we have kept the catch block. We'll be getting as unknown error occurred. Let's print this and check. Error 1 occurred. That is, it throws an error and this catch block gets printed. If we provide the word correctly, we'll be getting the result as word is apple, because no errors has been thrown, so this print statement get printed. And if we provide an error that doesn't have the catch block here, that is error 1 and error 2 we have mentioned, if we provide the error 3 means we'll be getting into this catch block. Sorry, I need to change the, if we print this catch block get executed, unknown error occurred. This is the purpose of do catch block. We are, first of all, we are defining the errors, and after that we are writing the throwing function with the throws keyword, and if any error occurred, we are throwing that error, and using the do catch block we are handling each errors. The next topic we are going to learn is variadic functions. These functions will accept any number of parameters of the same type. The perfect example of this variadic function is print function. That is, it will accept any number of parameters that we are providing. In order to make a function variadic, we need to provide this three dots after its type. Here, this function is for getting the cubes of the numbers we provided. Here you see I have provided 3, 4, 5. If I print this, we will get the result as like this. So if I'm adding more numbers here, because the main specialty of this variadic function is we can add n number of parameters. So if again I print means I'll get the result like this. So this is the variadic functions. The next topic is in-out parameters. That means all the parameters that we are passing inside the function will be constant. We cannot alter inside the function body. If we want to make changes to the values we are providing, we need to mention that parameter as inout. This is the parameter we are mentioning as a inout. This is the parameter type. Inside the function body, this parameter value we are changing. Calling a function with inout parameter, we need to have a variable first. Since our parameter is integer, we are providing integer value for this. And while calling, this is the argument label. Before providing the value, we need to give this ampersand symbol, which is an explicit recognition that you are aware it is being used as an inout. Let's print out this and see the result. Here we have provided my_num is equal to 10. While we are printing, we are getting the result as 20. We are not returning this function, we are not assigning this function to this variable, but to the value we are getting is 20. This is the inout parameter. The value inside the function is changing, and that change reflect in the original value outside the function. This is the inout parameter. These are the topics for today. Thank you.